In the photo corrections folder, you're going to find one that is called brightness and contrast. So if you'll go ahead and drag that into Photoshop, you are going to see an image, and I now can't remember what this image was, but it was inside of a church in Rome when I went on a vacation there. And there really the only light there was from the window, so it's kind of dark. And what we want to do to improve this would be to add a little brightness and contrast. So what we're going to do is there's actually a few different ways to do it. We could go to the layer menu and choose to make a new adjustment layer. Or we can come down here into the bottom of our layers panel, and the circle half white, half gray is also the same thing, a new adjustment layer, and choose brightness and contrast. Now, when you do that, you get this brightness contrast layer that shows up in your layers panel. And the reason that this is important that you notice this is because your original photo has not been damaged or tampered with. You'll always be able to go back to that simply by deleting that layer. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to use up here in our properties. Once we put this adjustment layer on, we can come up here to our properties and we can adjust the brightness and contrast with these sliders. You might also notice that there is a button up here in this properties called Auto. And basically what it is Photoshop automatically corrects the brightness and contrast based on what it thinks. So if I click it, it may take a few seconds for it to adjust, but you can see that it has adjusted the brightness 44 and the contrast to 12. And if I hide that layer, you can already see the difference in improvement that it's made. Now, I can still, even though I choose auto, I can adjust it more. Maybe I want it to be a little bit brighter. Okay, and we can't go too bright because if we go too bright, it washes things out. So I can make it go, it was at 44. I'm going to drag it about to 69, maybe 65. 69 might be a little much. And again, you can also adjust the contrast. And I'm probably going to leave that at 12 where it was. Now, I could, because I have 3 big fat heads in the way in my picture that shouldn't have been there, I could actually use my crop tool and crop that out. And then that is actually going to get rid, let me crop out some of it. I'll leave their head in a little bit. It's going to crop out a lot of that, what was too bright. So I can double click on it, and now I just see the details of the walls and the ceiling a little bit better than I did before. So you can use that, play with it, adjust it. Once you're done with this one, I want you to choose one photo from your scavenger hunt, and I want you to use the brightness and contrast, and you're going to have to play with the levels on it, okay, because it's probably not the same as these, but make those adjustments and then also save that in your Photoshop folder. So this one here, I'm going to do File, Save As, and of course we always want to save into our Photoshop folder, okay, and it's going to be period, your last name, and selecting too much, and then leave the name of the file as what you brought it in, which is brightness and contrast. Hit save, and then save it again as a JPEG by changing the format. And again, that's going into my Photoshop folder. I'm going to click OK. All right, once you do that, you are going to pull in one of yours, And if you refer to the website, it's going to tell you what to save it as.